Hey guys, welcome back to No Recipe Required. I'm Dave. Bacon. Bacon is a wonderful thing. We all love it. We all know it really well. I use it in a lot of recipes, and many of those recipes call for diced bacon or chopped up bacon. You can use it as a flavor ingredient, as an enhancement, rather than maybe having a whole chunk of meat. Just use a little bit of it and add some flavor to it. One of the important things you got to do though is saute it off and get it crispy before you actually add any vegetables or any liquid to the pan. Otherwise you end up kind of with a flabby mess. It doesn't really extract the flavor. Let's show you how to fry it up. So here I've got a few pieces of bacon. I'm using thick cut pieces here. If a recipe calls for you to use diced up bacon, or lardons is the French term for little matchsticks of bacon, this is the technique they're talking about. You don't want to, and you don't really want to cook the whole piece and then try and break it up. It just doesn't really work as well. I'm going to go ahead and use two pieces at once. Got it obviously perpendicular to me, and I'm just going to go through and try and make maybe 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 inch strips, kind of matchsticks. And depending on how long or thick you want it, you can either slice it in half and you'll get thinner ones. You want to try and be as consistent as you can, because as we cook this, you want the pieces to cook evenly. And we're just going to mow through these, and as they cook, they're going to shrink up a little bit and give us nice little crispy bacon bits. Let's go ahead, start cooking. I've got a pan here on medium heat, and I'm going to go ahead and add my little bits of bacon to it. Notice it's not an enormous sizzle there, but there is a little bit of that. Bacon is obviously super fatty, so I'm not really adding oil here for extra fat, but I am adding it so that the bacon just gets a little more contact with the pan, and it kind of makes the process go a little bit faster. You don't really need a ton. And then I'm just going to kind of move it around and get it down to one layer. And then I'm going to kind of let it alone. Leave it at that medium to medium-low heat and let that fat render out. And once it goes for probably 7 or 8 minutes, I'll come back and check it. I'm still just trying to get it down to one layer. Come back and check it and kind of move the pieces around, get the other side done. What we're looking to do is get a nice crispy texture on all these individual pieces. Okay guys, so it's been a few minutes, and I can tell the edges of my bacon are starting to render out their fat and get nice and crispy. So now I'm just going to move them around, try and get the other side on the pan, and then let it go a minute or so. Maybe every minute come back and just shuffle them around. Again, we want to get almost all that fat rendered and down to a nice crispy texture. We'll come back when we're ready to remove them from the pan. Okay guys, so if your recipe calls for bacon, you want to go ahead and render it out like we've just done here, and you can see almost all that fat is rendered out, and if you collect or tilt the pan, you can see how much has come out. Remember, we just put in a little bit of that olive oil. You can discard that, or if you want to use it, frankly, as a substitute for olive oil, it's absolutely delicious. Now, if the recipe calls for, say, adding onions or vegetables or anything like that, this is really where you want to do it. You don't want to add it immediately with the bacon, or it's never going to get kind of this crispy texture and flavor, and this develops the flavor much more. So that's frying up bacon for a recipe. I'll see you next time on No Recipe Required.